have been playing Wuthering Waves for a while, you probably started to see a certain trend going on with a specific category of characters. These two units have been the go-to option ever since the game still has the version 1 point in their update. It's not necessarily a bad thing this category is dominated by these two units. Not every character is created equal after all. But that begs the question, what happened to Shield? Or rather, what's going on with Shield in WuWa? I believe there are a couple of main reasons that leads to this sorry state of Shield and Shielder as a whole except Brand. Compared to Heal, Shield is way too inconsistent. It sounds stupid, but I'm going somewhere with this. While both have the same job, provide as much EHP as possible, Shield require you, the player, to be hit. How about let me finish my sentence first? Shield require you to be hit while it is active. But you just pop healing whenever you see your characters getting ragdolled or hurt their damage voice line. How shield work isn't a big deal. In fact, it can be a spicy wing to the salted wing to heal, if it weren't for the fact that players had to put in an actual effort to get the shield. Saying you have to jump through hoops to get something is not an exaggeration with Shield. I'm not saying this is a bad thing, by the way. Currently, as I'm writing the script, recording, editing, and hopefully publishing this video, Wuthering Waves only have 3+1 shielders. I single out Brand here because he is Mr. Multi-Roles, so it doesn't feel really fair to compare him to the rest of shielders who is primarily a defensive unit. Yuanwu is the quickest and the easiest unit to grant shield to the entire party, as all you have to do is pressing his ult. Although it is locked behind his resonant chain, but given he is 4-star unit, and there aren't many 4-star units available right now, you are more likely to unlock said chain. And because it is under his ult, your usage may vary depends on your ER stat. The second quickest shield in the East title belongs to Miss Mew, Miss Tao Shi. You either swap her in with her intro skill or use her skill if you have her full 40 gauge, or even 2. When you are about to get hit, then spam your attack button away. Even though she is technically the quickest shielder, she still has a clunky or jank, depends on your view, element to it. Mainly, her sword swing needs to hit some target if you want her to actually generate shield. It's not a deal breaker, just know that she has some scenario that can make her job much harder. Followed by Brand and Jinshin come dead last. As you can see, they all demand a decent amount of field time to grant a sizable shield to the entire team. But whether that field time worth your effort to execute their composite or not is up to you, my imaginary non-existent viewers. As for me, some are, some aren't, but I digress. Still staying on the topic of these units, with the exception of Brand, they don't provide that much offensive utility. You can say Yuanwu and Tao Shi are great at destroying posture bar due to their ability to fill considerable gauge really fast, but I don't think many people actually play it like that, and the game doesn't really reward you for stunning the enemy per se. I know they take more damage when they are stunned, but I don't know how much. Also, your considerable gauge will be filled much slower due to the lack of perfect dodge. And the good old just constantly dealing damage route is more than enough to get the job done. Kinda renders breaking posture bar really fast. Not that relevant. Jinshin has a great crowd control, but her crowd control ability is frankly too short to be utilized by an average Joe with skill issue like yours truly. And when you compare them to healers, you're starting to see this meme popping up. Even the worst traditional healer, I put traditional here because I don't want to try to understand what wacky shenanigans Yo has to offer, has more offensive utility than the 3 of them combined. Yakshi can provide 15% damage amp, 15% attack up, and 12% ice damage buff, and I don't think I have to explain why Reina and Shopkeeper are still good to this very day. And to further widen the gap of offensive utility discrepancy, Shielders doesn't have a rejuvenating glow set equivalent. All they have is whatever works well with their kits or role, but why does this matter? Flexibility is what I want to see. When you compare the equal set choice of healers to shielders, they all have one guarantee set to work well on them. The alternative depends on their kits or niche. Verena and Baizi can, hypothetically, run Empyrean Anthem, whether it is practical or not is another thing entirely. For whatever reason or substance Kurodev were on, they decide these 3 can also run Moonlit Cloud. I mean, look at this considerable gauge progression! Sure, this is locked behind specific 4-star gacha weapons, But still, it is an option that every healer can use. Besides the flexibility for echo set options, there is also a buff uptime aspect. Just so we're on the same page, from now on, I'll be talking about Rejuvenating Glow specifically. Baraji has a much lower percentage of buff or damage provided to the team relative to other support echo set. It more than makes up for that by virtue of how easy it is to proc and maintain. In a game as fast-paced as Wuthering Wave, 30 seconds might as well translate to 1 minute. I'm exaggerating of course, but it lasts for 30 seconds just mean you have 30 plus however long your healing skill lasts seconds before you have to reapply this again. And if you're a quick swap enjoyer, this measly 15% attack buff might as well be 30% attack buff since you pretty much swap through your 2 units to deal damage so often. Granted, Shielder being stuck with Mulit Cloud set as its default or generic set isn't the worst thing in the world, as it buffed the incoming resonator attack by 22.5%, and the effect still lingers even you swap them out for a quick swap. But still, a build variety for Shielder would be very much appreciated. As much as I don't want to do this, but I don't know how to transition to the final section of my reasoning, so I'm going to bring up the G game. In Genshin, shields are very powerful in what they need to do. It generally provides second HP, increase your poise, or just straight up give you a super armor, and if your shield matches the color of enemy element, it becomes super tanky. Then you compare that to Major, you have yeah, it doesn't look good. But why? To simply put, shields is just not built for Major or Wuthering Wave, didn't design with shield in mind. I think that is the case because this is also how they handle shield in PTR. It's just an extension of your unit HP, no hyper armor or anything. I believe Kuro chose to go this route because they want the player to engage with the combat system, mainly to encourage perfect dodging. We can see and feel set encouragement through a mini wish time and a rather big consider gain when we perfect dodging. Another rather big problem I didn't talk until now is shield duration. With how varied the duration of each shield from each provider is, it makes shield job even worse. As I mentioned before, shield only work when you are hit when it is active. This means you have to make a mistake, mistime your dodge, getting clipped by pixel of hit and hurt box, failing quick swap, fall asleep, then face tank a big dick damage move, or overestimate your character's iframe. How likely it is that you, the player, are going to make those mistakes within 10, 18 or 30 seconds? If you can confidently answer like once or it depends on what characters is the core of the team or damage dealer, then I don't think you really need the shield as you pretty much know ins and out of said team or characters. Sure, it can come in handy so that your unit doesn't die on you pulling a high commitment move, but revive passive exists. If your answer start with or include probably, then that's my point. You don't know when you will make a mistake within that duration. You can simply do a proper rotation every single time to remedy this just like heal, but I don't like a static rotation, that's why this is the team for me. Personal taste and playstyle aside, I also want to discuss a possible shield buffs. There are more ways to buff shield other than give a rejuvenating glow equivalent. First is buffing shield unit themselves. Except Brand, the guy is already really good. This isn't really a buff to shield, but more of a give players an incentive to use shielder and thus potentially increase the shield usage. The other would be playing around with traditional shield property. I think the idea of shield gives super armor is fine and can be adapted or done in Major. Of course, I'm not saying shield should possibly give super armor, but rather enhance it or simulate the effect. Certain moves in Major have innate interruption resistance. Some more than the others, but every unit has it. Right, okay, maybe not every unit, right? But a lot of damage dealer has it. So I propose shield to either increase the percentage of interruption resistance or have interruption resistance come out a bit earlier and the duration extend by 5 or 10 frames for any move that has innate IR. I don't think what I suggest is healthy to Major as the developer doesn't want super armor in the game in the first place. But it's not like there isn't any workaround for high commitment move without IR percentage increasing built into their kit. Quick swap is one of, if not the most prominent method to do so. Or maybe something along the line of shield will increase effective stamina, whether it is by increasing stamina regen or decrease stamina usage as long as shield is active. Another idea I have is Any attack during shield is active will spawn a lingering hitbox for a really short amount of time after that attack animation ends. Also, if this hitbox is spawned, it will reset the attack string, making it easier to parry boss or elite attack. With lower damage to posture bar than parry them normally, of course, to play into the defensive or preventative measure. But in the end, I'm just an armchair game dev. What Kuro will eventually do or don't with shield is very likely more suitable to the game, and most importantly, direction and intention for every player to experience the game. But what do you think about shield in Wuthering Waves? Is it too underpowered? Is it okay now? Let me know in the comments. I love reading through different player experience and expression. Anyway, that's it from me. Thank you so much for bearing with my rant until now. I wish you a good night and a great day ahead of you. Hope to see you again in the next video. Bye bye!